The Breakers in the regular season. The league-leading Breakers, 21-7, sitting pretty at the top, and right now we're underway in the second half, and they're having trouble against the Crocs. Schenscher, little shoulder shake. Eddie Gill for three. Rattles it in. The Crocs go up 6.
Started in the first half, into the big fella. He finds a teammate this time, an open Teddy Gill, a step behind the three-point line.
Abercrombie misses it. Schenscher has it tied up by Mikavakona. Jump ball called, and that'll be Breakers' ball on the possession arrow.
Well, I wonder if that counts for the offensive rebound, because that would be only the Breakers' third offensive rebound of the game, something that they really depend for on extra offense throughout the season. Crocs have shut it down so far, but a good sign for the Breakers in the second half.
Vakona gives it to Corletto, uses that screen. Abercrombie saves it to Vakona, trapped on the baseline, grabs it, traveled. Wow, it's ugly at the moment.
Vakona not being aggressive when he gets the basketball underneath the rim. That's 3 or 4 times he had the basketball with nobody in front of him or somebody right next to him, but he's a powerful, strong athlete. He just needs to go straight up with it and finish, get the foul, get to the free throw line. Right now, just not being aggressive enough offensively.
You could argue no one's been aggressive except for maybe Gary Wilkinson.
Definitely seems to be a little bit tentative offensively on the night, and that has a lot to do with the Crocodiles' defense.
Jackson is trying to make things happen, but it's just not happening for him as Blanchfield front rims it. Vakona has a rebound. 13 rebounds for the Breakers. Wilkinson gets it, gets the contact from Crawford, no whistle, and Holmes rips down the board.
A lot of contacts. Peter Crawford back 3 meters. No foul, no blood, no call.
Jackson with the steal. Oh, but he held Schenscher as he went to go around him on the mismatch.
Cedric Jackson, lightning quick defender most of the times. Rarely uses his hands in it. Here we see the replay. Had the mismatch. A slight little tiny touch there. But the referee looks like a foul. You're going to get a foul called.
You could argue that Jackson was held back by that long wing of Schenscher as he has the ball over Wilkinson. That is there all night. Single coverage again. The Breakers may have to think about a double team.
And he loves the hook shot to the middle of the floor. If you're going to let the big 7-footer have 3, 4, 5 dribbles, he's just going to get the position he needs to score.
Blanchfield picks up the personal foul as Wilkinson and Holmes have a bit of a debate about him trying to post up.
A little matchup change around here. Schenscher's guarding Mikavakona. Jacob Holmes guarding Gary Wilkinson. That really negates Gary Wilkinson's ability to draw Schenscher away from the basket and let Schenscher really patrol the paint and contest those shots, keep those driving lanes closed.
Well, we have seen Mikavakona, an international ball, hit open jumpers, pull his defender away from the hoop. Casey, you'd know more than me.
Well, it's an ability he has, but it's something that has to be done within the offense. And as we see the foul there on Blanchfield yet again, Wolford can't believe it, but it's something that the Breakers don't really look for in their offense. So if he were to get it, it's not really in their offensive flow.
That is the second foul for Todd Blanchfield. Second for the Crocs in this third quarter. They have an 8-point lead. This Breakers ball from the side.
Big possession here for the Breakers. Got to get something good offensively. Really need a bucket.
Corletto. Abercrombie. 6 to shoot. Inside to Vakona, goes up and around. There it is, Casey. There's that bucket.
Well, there's the aggressiveness he needs. He had the mismatch. At the basket, goes right at the rim, scores an easy layup.
Schenscher just patrolling around the edge of the key as Crawford gets the step. It drops. Tough move from Peter Crawford.
Great move, and he was unfortunate not to get the foul called as well. A lot of contact from Mikavakona, and he finishes anyway.
Wilkinson posting up. Corletto all the time in the world. Another miss from Daryl Corletto. 1 of 4 from deep now after hitting his first. Gill into the lane. Pumped. Goes to the floor hard, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, that was a veteran play there by Eddie Gill. gets Cedric Jackson on his hip, and as a point guard, he knows once the defender is on your hips, all the contact is going to be a foul. Good screen by Schencher right there, creates the contact, bumps right back into him. Doesn't even worry about making the layup. Just wants to get that foul on Cedric Jackson. That's 2 quick fouls here in the third quarter on Jackson. And that gives him 3 for the game. Gill, 15 points, quietly amassing the points.
The Breakers, they had a terrible start to game 1 of their final series against the Perth Wildcats. They got blown out on their home court, and it was down to mostly complacency as they coasted in to the finals. Not so much complacency this time round. The Crocs are just playing them the way that the Breakers have been beatable this season.
Well, right now, the Crocs look like the better team. They've got better systems and better defensive effort.
Jackson, all the time in the world at the moment, the ball as 3 comes on the shot clock. Gill, what's happening here? And a blocking foul on Eddie Gill, and he is devastated. Paul Woolpert can't believe it. He's on the end of the bench. Now he's back up. Oh, that is a heartbreaker right there if you're Paul Woolpert.
Interesting offensive set for the Breakers. Cedric Jackson just backing up from everywhere, going from one side of the court to the other. Not a lot in this. Eddie Gill trying to sell the basket, sell the call, gets a trip as well. He had a great position. The shot clock was running down. You don't need to convince the officials of everything when the contact's not there. Possibly didn't deserve the foul call, but that sends him to the free throw line. And you don't want to send Cedric Jackson to the free throw line. He's not scoring very well. He gets the free throws. He might find that offensive rhythm that's been missing so far in the matchup.
Makes the first. He's shooting 61% on the season. Just 4 points. It's an anemic-looking stat line for Cedric Jackson. 5 points now. Crawford gives it to Gill. Townsville happy to control this tempo. Bounce pass to Schencher, who dribbles it off his leg. Nice pass, but the big man just couldn't handle it.
Well, perfect dime, but Schencher, the 7-footer, doesn't have the best hands. Occasionally fumbles it a little bit, and that time might have just been a little bit too low for the big fella.
It's quiet here in this gym. Abercrombie just misses his third shot of the game. You can hear the sneakers squeaking on the hardwood. Some of these Breakers fans may not be au fait with the nuances of this game. Schencher has the ball up high, gives it to Crawford. Good look for Peter Crawford. And that is money in the bank for the Townsville Crocs. They lead by 11. It's a double-digit lead. Kona crosses over Schencher, gives it to Jackson, to Wilkinson. 3 ball on the way. Too strong. Gill has the rebound.
Once again, Mika Vakona does all the work, gets to the rim, did a great move on Luke Schencher, but doesn't want to shoot the layup, and the Breakers can't capitalize on the ball movement.
9 on the shot clock. Schencher gives it to Blanchfield, contested 3. That drops. Blanchfield with a bomb. Timeout on the floor for the Breakers. Townsville are up big, 14.
Well, the Townsville Crocodiles, they are familiar with this building. Earlier in the season had a 23-point first quarter lead, and they're edging towards that again. Blanchfield with the defender, Thomas Abercrombie, in his face, nails the 3. Warpelt is calm and collected. It's almost as though he expected this.
All right, we're not switching. Chase on through. All right, chase through on that stuff and keep getting to those shooters. The one who can dig, that 4-man when Holmes is up here, you can sit on that nail and he drives, and you can make an aggressive dig on that sort of stuff, okay? Keep working up the floor, keep getting those denials on the reversal. It's all right. There's one way to go in this game, all right? Make them tough shots and then box out. We get it. We're trans on the fly. That first catch has been good, all right? Tom on the rim's been good. We end up with a wide open shot. That's no problem. The other one is when G's fronting here, that weak side, we've got to flush quickly to be able to get into weak right now. We're going to look some of the high lows. Hey, this one here, get through a secondary.
Eddie Gill with the layup earlier in the game. Eddie Gill with the 3-point shot. He's carrying a lot of the offensive load for the Crocs right now. 17 points on the night. doing it mostly from the perimeter with a couple of three-pointers, those long J's, but also doing a great job of controlling the offensive flow for his team. He's got only 3 turnovers, no assists, but really being a floor general and controlling that tempo, which is part of the big reason they've got this huge 14-point lead.
5:28 to go in the third. Breakers in a hole, a big hole to the Townsville Crocs in game number 1 of their 3-game series. Home advantage is about to be blown out of the water. Gary Wilkinson is blocked. Just 16 comebacks from a 3/4 time deficit in the 126 games in the 2011-2012 NBL season, I should say. Not looking good for the Breakers. Shencha. Good defense by Gary Wilkinson. What can Cedric Jackson spark? So far, he's been shut down as he goes and dumps it on Shencha. My goodness!
Now, that's the explosiveness you're looking for. Dylan Boucher, however, makes a mental error, hits the basketball out of the hand, gets a technical foul. Not what you needed at that moment after an explosive attacking play by Cedric Jackson. Here we see it again, right on the big fella. Oh, great play. But right afterwards, Dylan Boucher compounds the mistake as we see it again. Right over the 7-footer, slams it home. That's the athleticism that this crowd is looking for. And just when it seems like they're going to have something to cheer for, the mental error by Dylan Boucher getting that technical. I believe he slapped the ball out of his hands when it was out of bounds. Jacob Holmes makes the 2 free throws, and once again, we're back at the funeral. The somber crowd, no noise, can hear a pin drop in here.
He's one of the smartest players, but that was just a straight-out dumb move by Dylan Boucher. Jackson answered the question. The Townsville still have that 14-point lead. Shencha goes down. Holmes has it on the far side, bangs into Boucher, shoots over the top of him and gets the friendly roll.
And it's all going the Crocodiles' way right now. Jacob Holmes, good post scorer, just backs down Dylan Boucher, gives him a little up fake, takes his time, gets the friendly roll.
Inside to Wilkinson, hacked hard by Jacob Holmes.
And he looks at him afterwards, smashes him on the foul, stares him down, saying, hey, there ain't nothing easy in this house tonight. You're going to have to earn those points at the free throw line. Good high-low action. Jacob Holmes fouls him. Gary Wilkinson has a little something to say back, but not much. That is a big 16-point deficit on the scoreboard.
Holmes and Wilkinson still drawing. Just a civil chat. Wilkinson makes the first. They've been knocking bodies most of the game.
Knocking bodies, eh?
Pleasure in the game as Wilkinson takes a seat.
See the Breakers implementing the full court pressure, trying to force a couple of turnovers, make it a little bit more difficult for the Crocs to score.
Still a 14-point lead. Wilkinson with those free throws, close it up. Gill just directing traffic, easy as you like. Good rebound by Tom Abercrombie over Blanchfield. But Eddie Gill has all the time in the world to make things happen as Jackson has taken it on himself. Gets in the little lane with a little floater. Cedric Jackson is starting to spark up.
And that is explosive quickness as Jacob Holmes throws the shoulder in, gets the illegal screen. And these are the mental errors that the Crocs can't make. They don't want to give the crowd anything to cheer for, but the Breakers crowd is thirsty for something good to go for. And Cedric Jackson finally putting it on his shoulders and acting like that first-team All-NBL player he was.
Shencha and Blanchfield take a seat as Jackson got in the lane there. And here comes the foul, Casey.
And just a little chicken wing there from Jacob Holmes. Could have just set a solid screen, instead puts the elbow out, and the referee blows a whistle.
Mims, Chris Cedar. Pledger gets the bucket, Warren along with Allen for the Crocs. The lead is 10 now. 3:19 to go. Holmes, a leaner of a 3. You've got to be joking.
Look at this guy. Came to play in the IINet NBL Championship. Man,
Eddie Gill can't believe it.
The fast break pull-up.
Jacob Holmes with 7. Jackson. No good. Holmes gets down, pulls down the rebound. 66-53. Crowd's into it now. Crawford on the veteran.
That's tough.
Oh my goodness.
That is tough.
Holy cow.
Man, that is good defense by C.J. Bruton. Peter Crawford does not care. It's the tough little fadeaway turnaround.
C.J. Bruton throws Crawford to the floor. Mims is on him. Boucher into the lane, puts it up for Pledger. That play has worked about 100 times this season and it just broke down there. They're out of sync, are the Breakers. Townsville Crocs well in control. Holmes sweeps across the lane. That rolls. I tell you what, they made a mistake bringing the North Shore Event Centre rings with them. Townsville loving it. C.J. Bruton kisses it off the glass.
They're seeing players just put it on their own shoulders offensively. Jacob Holmes on one end, going right at Dylan Boucher. C.J. Bruton on the other end, going straight to the basket. And quick buckets are what the Breakers need, but they got to start getting some stops if they hope to dig into this deficit.
Crawford. That won't drop, and that'll go to the Breakers. Mika Vakona will check in for Tom Abercrombie.
Peter Crawford there, driving to the hole. Looked like he wanted to get that contact from Alex Pledger. Alex Pledger didn't give it to him. Turned into a difficult layup that he couldn't nail home, and the ball ends up getting knocked off the Townsville Crocodile.
Game 2, Thursday night. So a bit of time for these two teams to reevaluate. And at the moment, it may be the Breakers. Look at this tape, find out how the Crocs have worked them out for 2.5 quarters. Boucher gives it to Vakona. Jackson shoots to Jay. I tell you what, the Crocs will love having that shot taken. Cedar. Chris Cedar. Mims working hard on the offensive glass. Another rebound on the offensive end for the Crocs.
Well, the Breakers penetrating and kicking, can't get the open layup. Thorsten contested jumpers on one end. C.J. Bruton hits that one. It's only a 2-pointer, even though he called claims to the 3. On the other end, Elvin Mims doing the hard work on the boards. And right now, the Breakers are working so hard for their offense, they're not making the Townsville Crocodiles work quite as hard on the other end.
26 rebounds to 15. As a steal is taken by Vakona. Jackson with 2 more points in the quarter. And Cedric Jackson is now 4 of 10 from the field with 11 points. Breakers down 13. 25 seconds to go in this third quarter. Once again, Cedar gets in the lane and kisses it off the glass. Too easy.
Alex Pledger has to come over and contest that shot. 7 foot tall in the lane, you got to get out there and be a shot blocker. Easy layup for Cedar.
What a coaching job by Paul Wolpert in his first year in the league. He's worked out what isn't working for the Breakers. Stops them. It's Pledger. We end the quarter on a bomb. It goes off the top of the backboard.
And a bomb on the scoreboard as well. 15-point lead. The Crocodiles came out to play in the third quarter and turns this game on its head.
They just dropped 30 points in this third quarter. The Breakers could only muster 18.